episode of Meet Houston. Houston's talk show that gives you everything that's happening within our city. If you are a business leader, if you are an entrepreneur, if you have an event that you have coming up and you would like us to bring exposure to what you have, we will definitely do that here on our show, Meet Houston. Last week, we had Sharika Hunt that gave us all the type of information that we needed about Alzheimer's, so we're super excited about today's show. We have Nikita Lamar, who is a founder of a product that I am super excited for her to introduce to all of you who are tuned in and watching on today. You are going to be so amazed by the education that she is going to provide. But if this is your first time tuning in, we talk about Houston fun facts, some of the things that you do not know about our city, as well as my favorite restaurants. You know I love to eat, so I'm always bringing exposure to food because that's something that I love to do within our city. So we're going to talk about some interesting things that you did not know about what happens with food within our city. So y'all make sure that you stay connected, stay right there. When we come back, we're going to talk to Miss Nikita Lamar, where she's going to educate all of you who are tuned in.
And now for Meet Houston's Non-Profit of the Week. Shared Smiles by DM LLC with Ms. Dawn Keys, who is the founder. In the month of September, we participated in the Chiari Malformation Awareness Walk. We had an amazing time and we are super excited about what's to come in 2020. So special thank you to everyone who participated, who registered, who was a vendor, and who supported the efforts. Congrats, Dawn.
Welcome back to another episode of Meet Houston. Before we went to the break, I talked about this amazing woman that is here in the studio with us today, who's going to educate me along with all of you who are tuned in and watching. So before we get into our conversation, what do? We have to introduce Miss Nikita Lamar. How are you?
I'm doing well.
You look great.
Thank you.
So thank you for coming to another episode of Meet Houston. We are going to be educated today. When I read all of the information that you provided to me, I was like, wow, it is so interesting.
Yeah.
So many things, so many misconceptions of what others believe, but in order for us to know and others who are tuned in and watching our episode, we need to be educated. So let's first let's give us some information about yourself before we get into what's going to happen on today.
Okay. So my name is Nikita Lamar, and I am an attorney by trade, but I have become, as of late, a serial entrepreneur, and that is how Femitude came to be.
Yes.
I have used CBD products for about 2 years, maybe 3. And I've seen some tremendous improvements for myself, people around me, and that made me want to know more about cannabis in general, and specifically about CBD, and to share that information with people. And then that developed into me wanting to make sure that people understood the differences. There's a lot of, like you said, a lot of misconceptions out there about CBD, about hemp, about, what is all of this stuff. And I wanted to make sure that I could be able to not only sell products, because anybody can sell products, and everybody has CBD oil, I wanted to offer an array of products with CBD, and with that offering education as well.
And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to be educated. And one thing that I have learned when it comes to you selling anything, with you marketing anything, you have to become a product of the product first. So you're able to tell and share the information, especially from a personal basis.
Definitely.
So let's talk about that. Let's get a little bit of information on what made you, start using CBD.
Definitely. So maybe about 2 years ago, I was in Egypt, and I was there with a group of travelers, and my cousin was there with me, and we was having a great time. And all of a sudden, I had a panic attack. And at that time, I didn't know what a panic attack was. A lot of people have experienced anxiety here and there, but to have an anxiety attack or a panic attack is something totally different. It's another level of anxiety, and I had never had one that bad before. But it almost feels like your body is shutting down.
Really?
And yes, and that's what I experienced, and I didn't know what was going on. They got a doctor there, took my vitals, and he just said, I think that you're just having a panic attack. And so he was correct. I calmed down, and we made it back to the States, and in my office had another one. And this was something new. Stress is something that most people have. We manage, we try to manage, but sometimes our bodies are telling us you're not doing enough to manage it.
Right.
And so that's what my body was telling me,
Okay.
is that I wasn't doing enough to manage my stress.
Wow.
And being in the profession that I'm in, it's my stress and everybody else's
Right.
stress.
It's a lot
so
on your shoulders.
It's a lot,
right.
yeah. And so we're just so used to going, and that's what I was doing. And so that brought it to the forefront in terms of what I could do. And of course, first thing they want to do is put you on medication
yes.
and things like that. And I looked into all of the different types, but I felt as if it was a moment, you know, that made it that bad. And then also I felt as if there may be other remedies.
Okay.
And so I had a friend who lives in Florida, and she suffers from fibromyalgia.
Oh, wow.
And so, and she also used to suffer from depression, used to. And so she told me, she said, look, try some cannabis products, try the CBD oil specifically. And I did, and she told me, you know, where to go, because there's a lot of different people, a lot of different companies selling it. But there are certain things that you want to make sure it's done before you purchase it. So she explained a lot of things to me, and there you go. I started using it 2 years ago, and then I found other products to deal with other things, and here we are.
So it's more of an education and to help others know that there's other ways to illnesses rather than the medications, because sometimes medicine have adverse effects on you as well, and they create other issues. And sometimes it's just a pacifier for something that's going on that's deeper, until you get to a point to where, okay, now I have to do something. I have to either have surgery or something else. So I can tell from yours is coming from the heart of wanting those to be educated to where they don't have the medication that'll have adverse effects.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And just like anything, some people the medication, depending on what's wrong, how, you know, the progression of your illness, medication may be what you need. But if you're, you know, just like me, it's something that just started, you know, you may be able to treat anxiety or inflammation or things like that. I have diverticulitis. And that's something that people, you know, when I say it, they're like, what is it? And my grandfather had it. They say it's not hereditary, but who knows? And I haven't had any inflammation since I started using the CBD oil. So it's really important to me. I said if I ever came out with products or if I ever sold any products, that I would have to believe in them. You know, and it's not a necessity for everybody, but for me, I'm not a salesperson. That's not what I do. And so it makes it easy. It's not selling it. It's just giving the information
From firsthand.
Exactly.
You're giving it to them firsthand and be able to share your experiences based on what you went through and then the change in using the CBD oil.
Correct.
So let's talk about the difference between CBD and marijuana.
Okay. So there's two types of cannabis cannabis plants. There's hemp and then there's marijuana. Those are the two. And there's a lot of misconceptions about both. But the primary difference is in marijuana there's about 20% of THC. And in hemp, there's only 0.3%. About 0.3. And they can get it actually now because they know how to cultivate, and they meaning people who actually grow. They know how to cultivate these plants, and they can actually produce flower, which is the buds of the plant. They can produce those to have no THC in them at all.
Oh, wow.
So and so just a little bit about CBD versus THC. In any cannabis plant, you're going to have CBD and you're going to have THC. THC is is tetracannabinol. And that's what the word is for THC. For CBD, it's different. It's cannabidiol, and those are the two compounds that are both in any cannabis plant. The difference is that you're going to have a lot less of the THC in your hemp products, and you're going to have more in your marijuana products. Marijuana derived CBD is still illegal in a lot of states.
That's what I was going to ask you.
But hemp derived, which is from the plant that has the 0.3% of THC, is is legal everywhere.
Okay.
So you have to understand too,
Right.
when you're buying these
Yes.
things and what state you're in. You know, like say for instance, if I was in Denver, you know, they have
Right,
recreational,
right.
they
Yes.
have medicinal, and so if I was to go into a store and get CBD oil, I need to make sure that it's hemp derived if I'm planning on bringing it back with me.
So how do you know when you're going to purchase? Are there certain is there certain criteria that you have to have when you're going to purchase? Is there a refinery when you need, you know, what,
Right.
you know?
Well, you can purchase CBD
Okay.
oil in a lot of different places.
Okay.
And specifically in Houston, there are a lot of shops that are opening up, and of course the smoke shops will have it,
Right,
and even
right.
gas stations.
Okay.
But I want people to understand that you have to be careful where you buy your CBD oil, and you have to ask whether or not it's hemp derived or cannabis derived. Now here in Texas, or specifically in Houston, 9 times out of 10 it's gonna be hemp derived.
Okay.
I would ask anyway, but because it's illegal, and if you're going into an establishment that's an actual establishment, then they're usually gonna have the hemp derived CBD, because they know any other would be cause for someone to raid. And we saw that actually early on in the year, last year, before the politicians and people started to educate themselves on what CBD was. They equated it with marijuana and from the marijuana plant. So they had a lot of raids of smoke shops and things like that. Another thing that you want to ask is you want to ask how the CBD was taken from the actual flower.
Okay.
You want to make sure. Sometimes they use alcohol, butane, things like that. And it's not always harmful, but if you're going to do ingestibles like the gummies or the tinctures, you want more of a water-based extraction. So you can ask those different kind of questions, and if they can't answer, you may not want to get that product.
And I have been a witness of those who have gotten it from certain places, and they have gotten I don't want to say attached, but they misused it. And when I say they are a completely different individual because of misusing what they have gotten from gas stations and add some additives to it, and so those different things, and they are completely different individuals. So there are some misconceptions, and I want those who are listening, who are watching, to know what some of those misconceptions are, because there are misconceptions, and we're being educated for those who are and those who do have some type of illness would like to know, of course, where they can purchase, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to go to break, but let's talk about the misconceptions.
So there are a few misconceptions when it comes to cannabis in general, and specifically CBD. So CBD, as I said, usually my products are hemp derived, which means that they don't have any THC in them. Mine don't, and they're laboratory tested and all of that. And the misconception is I'm going to get high. That's the whole thing. And that's not the case.
Every time you see the little plant.
Exactly. and it's all about branding and things like that. And that's why the education piece is so important, because it's all cannabis. It's all cannabis, but it's different types of cannabis plants. And so, with the CBD oil, you don't get the psychoactive effects, because the psychoactive effects that you get from cannabis products normally, they come from the THC side. And so the less THC you have, the less of the psychoactive components that you're going to experience. And not only that, with the misconceptions, a lot of people think that if it doesn't come from my doctor, then I can't use it. And that's definitely not true. Because you got to think about it. We take Tylenol, we take ibuprofen, things that are known to cause bodily harm if you use it on a daily basis. If I can equate CBD or my CBD products, the ingestibles, with anything, it would be daily vitamins. It's almost the same thing. It's just addressing some other things that a regular vitamin may not be able to address.
So I gotta learn more. I was educated from your website, but I want to know about the products that you have, because there's a secret sauce. There's a secret sauce with her products. So we're going to go to a break, and when we come back, we're going to learn about the secret sauce and what she has here for me to try and take up. No, I'm just joking. We'll be right back with the secret sauce.
Are you having child support issues? Are you going through a divorce? Are you going through a custody battle? I know that your family, children, and property are very important to you, and having to navigate through the legal system is probably one of the most difficult experiences you will have to encounter in your lifetime. Please call the Jones Law Firm at 713-222-0196. The Jones Law Firm is committed to helping you in your time of need. Call 713-222-0196 to schedule a consultation today.
We are back, and now we are about to learn about the secret sauce that Nikita brought right here in our studio. So we have some amazing products. So let's talk about what you have, because this is for all of the women. This is like a bath box. So let's talk about what you have.
Well, we do have bath products in there, but we actually have an array of products.
Okay.
So we have the Femnitude CBD gummies.
Okay.
We have 2 ingestibles, and
Okay.
ingestibles are things that you're actually going to take orally.
Okay.
So that's one of them.
Okay.
And then we have the tincture,
Okay.
and which a lot of people just refer to it as CBD oil.
Okay.
But there's different types of CBD oil.
Okay.
There's CBD oil that you can take orally, like this, and there's CBD oil that you can cook with. So there's a lot of different types, but these are the types that you take orally.
Okay.
So we have CBD body wash.
Okay.
And we also have CBD pain relief lotion. Yes, and it has other things in it like camphor, things that are known to address muscle tightness and things like that. So you can actually use this anywhere. I use this on my knees. I use it on my Achilles. So, and then we have my favorite, the bath bombs. We have 2 different types. And this one I believe is a lavender.
Okay.
And so, you know, you can put this in your bath different times. Sometimes women have, you know, pain when it's the time for their cycle.
Yes.
Also, women with endometriosis, with fibroids, you know, the pain of it, the pain management is something that a lot of these products can address.
Wow.
You know, specifically the gummies and the tincture.
Okay.
And just as far as the relaxation, you know, the bath bomb, you know, things like that. So these are the products that we're going to launch with.
Okay.
But these are not all of the products that Femnitude will have.
Wow.
So, you know, definitely stay tuned. Definitely follow us. We're on social media.
Okay.
And we'll be bringing in more products.
Okay.
This is the only CBD subscription service that is out there now geared towards women.
So this is a subscription box.
Yes,
a
a subscription box. Yes.
Okay.
And what we have here are our promotional items.
Okay.
We've done a soft launch, and our hard launch, our actual production site, will be ready in about 5 days now.
Okay, awesome.
So my web developer, Tyler Clay, he's an amazing guy. He is actually running it, trying to make sure that all the kinks are out before people come on and actually purchase.
Okay.
I had about 20 promotional boxes. I think I'm down to maybe 5 now.
Wow.
And for $99, you know, my friends, family, people that I know who wanted to try the products, they were able to get this box with every product that we're going to launch. And when I tell you, I told you I'm not a salesperson, but I mean, CBD products can be very expensive. Just one tincture alone can be $50 or more, depending on the grade, depending on the milligram, you know, things like that. So
we are excited.
Yeah.
We're excited that you, in 5 days, you will be able to get this subscription box.
Yes.
So what is the website information for those who are tuned in, who are watching, to make sure within those 5 days they are waiting for your website to go live so they can go ahead and get their subscription?
So definitely follow us on social media. We're on Twitter, we're on IG, we're on Facebook as just Femnitude. That's it. And Femnitude is FEMNITUDE, and that's across all socials. And then we have an informative site that is up, is www.femnitude.life.
Okay.
And they can go on same website that you visited. It gives you information on CBD, specifically CBD as it relates to different ailments that people may have, illnesses, things like that, and just give you a little bit more information about, you know, myself and my team.
Right. It was awesome. It educated me enough to where I was interested in knowing more. So thank you so much. Here is the subscription box that you will get, and it'll have your surprise on the inside. I just wanted to make sure that I showed everybody what it would look like when they receive their box. So make sure in 5 days that you go on the website and purchase the subscription box so you can be another person that can share the good news about Femnitude. We'll be right back. Of Meet Houston, a Houston fun fact. So what I realized was Houston has the best culinary scene in the country. And I can believe that because I've been to the majority of the restaurants and tried to see the culinary scene. But once again, I would just love to thank Miss Nikita Lamar for being here. Another episode of Meet Houston. I'm super excited about all of the growth that you will receive and all of those who will have Femnitude on their social media sites talking about your products. And we just had another episode of Meet Houston. So you guys make sure that you tune in on Wednesday at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time to catch another episode of Meet Houston.